More than half of all lottery winners are broke within 5 years. And the number one reason is not bad investments, and it is not bad luck. It is family. The moment your numbers come up, you do not just win money. You win a target on your back, and the first people to aim at it usually share your last name. Today we are counting down 10 winners who heard the phone calls, read the begging letters, felt the guilt, and still said no. We are not saving the good stuff for the end. We are coming out swinging all the way up to a man who won $1.35 billion and had to fight his own family in court to keep it. But it begins right now at number 10. Number 10 is a woman named Sandra Hayes, and she described this entire nightmare more honestly than anyone before or since. Sandra was a single mother and a social worker, scraping by on less than $26,000 a year, when she and 12 coworkers split a $224 million Powerball. Her share was in the millions, and almost immediately the letters started. Strangers from across the country with sob stories, faxes, phone calls at work from people she had never met in her life, begging. But the part that truly hurt was closer to home, because the people reaching out weren't all strangers. Some were people she loved, and in one unforgettable line, she described exactly what they turned into. They were, she said, like vampires, trying to suck the life out of her, so she made her choices carefully. She paid off her loans and her mortgage, took one trip to Hawaii, bought herself one nice car, and then she kept right on living as the same woman she had always been. Still budgeting, still shopping at discount stores. Years later, she was quietly secure, while so many winners she'd known were already broke. She didn't just keep her money, she kept herself. Number 9, Brad Duke didn't just protect his fortune, he tried to turn it into something almost unimaginable. In 2005, Brad was a gym instructor from Idaho when he matched the Powerball numbers for $220 million. After taxes, around $85 million landed in his account. And here is the very first thing he did with it: almost nothing. He told exactly one person, his father. One phone call. He kept his job. He kept his old car. He kept living in the same modest house he had owned before the ticket. No mansion, no Ferrari, no parade. While other winners were busy turning into everyone's personal bank, Brad built a wall. When he finally did decide to give, he didn't hand out cash to whoever called first. He set up a structured foundation with rules, with advisors, with an actual plan. And then he aimed higher than the win itself. He took that $85 million and went chasing $1 billion. Investing relentlessly, treating the jackpot not as a finish line, but as seed money. He didn't just keep his wealth away from grasping hands, he multiplied it. Number 8 was just 19 years old, still living at home, still figuring out his life when a single UK lotto ticket turned into roughly £4 million. He told his parents within the week, and at first it was pure joy. Hugs, tears, celebration. And then the planning started. Not his planning, theirs. Suddenly there were retirements to fund, holidays to book, even a boat being discussed at the kitchen table, all of it on his money. So he asked the question that changed everything. He asked them calmly how much they actually expected. They didn't hesitate. Stone-faced, they said one word: half, £2 million gone just like that because he happened to be related to them. But this 19-year-old had already done his homework. He'd quietly moved the entire prize into index funds, locked away, working for him, growing every single day. So he told them no. They called him selfish, ungrateful, cold. He called it survival. And years later, while that money quietly doubled, he was the only person in the family who still had any of it left. Number 7 is about a woman who got the last laugh, and you are going to love how she got it. For years, she said, she'd been the family afterthought, the one who never got invited. The proof came when her relatives planned an entire vacation and simply left her off the list. Didn't ask, didn't even mention it. So when she won over $2 million on a whim ticket, she didn't go running to them either. She did the smart thing, and she did it quietly, paid off her debts, invested, set a little aside for herself, no announcement, no fireworks, and then she made one small mistake. She bought a new car. That's all it took. Word spread, and suddenly the family that forgot she existed remembered her phone number. Her mother called her selfish for keeping it to herself. Her sister hinted that her student loans needed paying. Her brother skipped the small talk entirely and asked her to buy him a house. So she reminded them of one little detail: the vacation, the trip they didn't invite her on. "You didn't want me then," she told them, "so you don't get me now." And she kept every single dollar. Number 6, I actually tried to be generous, and that is what makes this one sting. 29 years old, $15 million richer, and he was not planning to blow it. He wanted to take business and finance courses, manage it properly, and eventually give some away to charity. And for his parents he described as distant, he made a real offer. He would pay off their mortgage, the whole thing, a free house just handed to them. It was not enough. They did not want the mortgage paid. They wanted a cut. 25%, nearly $4 million transferred straight to them, and their justification was 3 words long. "We raised you." That was the invoice. 2 decades of being his parents, now itemized and due in full. He looked at the people who had kept their distance his whole life, suddenly demanding a quarter of his future, and he said no. He kept the $15 million. And somewhere out there, a mortgage they could have had for free is still sitting unpaid because $4 million was the only number they were willing to accept. Number 5 didn't say no with words. He said it with silence. Over a decade ago, this man won millions. And to this very day, his family has no idea. They think he's broke. They think he's still scraping by, same as always. He has watched them assume he has nothing, and he has let them. Because before he ever told a single soul, he sat down and imagined exactly how it would go. The phone calls, the favors, the relatives crawling out of the woodwork with their hands out. He rehearsed those conversations in his head, and he decided he never wanted to have them. So he kept the mask on. And his first splurge as a secret millionaire, a single glass of whiskey. $48 sipped slowly, alone, in a bar where nobody knew his name. No party, no champagne, just one quiet drink and the strange, lonely knowledge that he had won, and that the only way to keep it was to make absolutely sure no one ever found out. And if these stories are already making you rethink everything you thought you'd do with a jackpot, then you are exactly who this channel is for. We dig up the cases nobody else will touch, and the next 4 are the wildest of the whole list. So tap that subscribe button before you forget, because this is far from over. And number 1 is going to stay with you for a long time. Now back to it. Number 4 understood the danger before the money even hit her account, and she did something almost nobody thinks to do. In 2018, a woman in New Hampshire won a Powerball jackpot worth $560 million. One ticket, over $500 million. And there was just one problem. Her state's law said winners had to be named publicly, their identity on the record for every long-lost relative and every stranger in the country to find. She knew exactly what that meant, the begging, the harassment, maybe even real danger. So before she ever touched the prize, she lawyered up and sued for the right to stay anonymous. And she won. The judge agreed that lottery winners face genuine solicitation, harassment, even violence. She claimed her $500 million through a trust, a faceless, nameless wall between her fortune and everyone who would ever come looking. No relative could call. No stranger could knock, because legally, the richest woman in the state simply did not exist. Number 3 took secrecy to a place most people would find impossible. He didn't just hide his fortune from cousins or co-workers, he hid it from his own children. He won around $22 million after taxes in a workplace pool, and when he sat down to decide who was even allowed to know, the list was almost empty. His wife, one sibling, that was it. Not his extended family, and not his 2 teenage daughters. When he was asked why he'd keep something this enormous from his own kids, his answer was chillingly practical. He didn't want them to become, in his word, waiters. People who stop building their own lives and just wait around for their parents to die so they can collect. He had seen what handed-down money does to ambition. So he let his daughters grow up believing the family was completely ordinary. He let them chase their own careers and earn their own way and become their own people, protected from a fortune that could have quietly destroyed all 3 of them before they ever turned 20. Number 2 is the warning hidden inside this list because saying no is not always clean. In 1999, a Waffle House waitress in Alabama named Tonda Dickerson was tipped something unusual by a regular customer, a lottery ticket, and it hit $10 million. But her coworkers insisted they had all agreed to split any winnings between them, and when she refused to hand it over, they took her to court. The case climbed all the way to the Alabama Supreme Court, and Tonda won. The supposed deal could not be enforced. The money was hers. That should have been the happy ending. It wasn't. She moved her winnings into a family corporation, and the IRS came after her for over $1 million in gift taxes. Then it got darker. Her ex-husband, desperate for a piece of it, kidnapped her at gunpoint to force her to pay up. She survived. She fought back and got away. But by the time the lawsuits, the taxes, and the trauma were finally over, the fortune that should have set her free had very nearly cost her everything. She said no. She just learned the hard way that the word comes with a price. And now, number 1, the biggest jackpot, the biggest betrayal, and the biggest payoff of them all. In January of 2023, a man in Maine bought a single ticket and won $1.35 billion, one of the largest prizes in American history. He took the lump sum, around $500 million after taxes. And he did everything right. He claimed it through a company so his name would never appear anywhere. He swore the people closest to him to secrecy. He built his fortress, and then his own family tore it down. According to the court case, he had financial arrangements in place with relatives until it all fell apart over loyalty and old grudges, and the promises collapsed. So the family did the unthinkable. They went after him in court, claiming he owed them a slice of that $500 million. A mountain of pressure aimed at one man by the very people who were supposed to be on his side. And he held the line. He fought to protect his anonymity, fought the claims, and shielded the fortune. The relatives who believed that blood alone entitled them to $500 million walked away with the one thing he was finally willing to give them: nothing. 10 winners, 10 moments where the easy thing, the so-called nice thing, was to just hand it over and keep the peace. And every single one of them said no. Because here is the lesson buried in all of it. The lottery does not test your luck. It tests your spine. The money is the easy part. Saying no to the people who raised you, the people who share your name, the people who suddenly adore you the second your numbers come up, that is the real jackpot most people never manage to claim. If this opened your eyes even a little, you already know what to do. Subscribe, because the next case we dug up is even darker than number 1, and you will not believe who they had to say no to. We will see you there.